Hi my loves, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Here in this channel we'll talk about relaxed hair care, hair growth tips, protective styling, and anything hair related. So if you know you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing to join the family. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys protective styles for hair growth. I'm going to be sharing with you guys 16 protective styles that you can use to grow your hair. Protective styling has been my major secret to hair growth. It has been the key in length retention for me over the past 9 years. Protective styles are what helped me to grow my hair to hip length, and even when I was stuck at a growth plateau about 3 to 4 years ago, changing the duration of my protective styles was one of the major things that helped me get out of that plateau. So that is why almost every time my hair is in protective styles. So I embark on protective style challenges almost every time, and I have shared a couple of them with you on the channel. I am even currently on a protective style challenge, so feel free to join in on the challenge. So I've made a similar video like this in the past about 2 to 3 years ago, so I decided to make a new one since we have so many new subscribers here. Welcome to the farm, by the way. So yeah, without further ado, we are just going to get started. Now, the function of protective styles is to protect the hair, is to protect the ends, and this is what leads to length retention. Protective styles and low manipulation styles is not the same thing. I made a video about this about 2 to 3 years ago where I shared with you guys the difference between low manipulation styles and protective styles. Maybe I'll make an updated video in the future, so please just stay tuned for that. But basically, low manipulation styles may not necessarily protect your ends. From the name low manipulation, the styles just helps to prevent you from over manipulating your hair. It does not necessarily mean that your ends are protected or your ends are tucked away, but a protective style protects your hair, it protects your ends. Your hair is tucked away, your ends are tucked away. So when it comes to length retention, protective styles supersedes low manipulation styles. So let's just say all protective styles are low manipulation styles, but not all low manipulation styles are protective styles. So protective styles have different benefits apart from the aesthetic and the beauty part of it. When it comes to retaining length, it's a game changer. It helps to maintain the health of your hair, because no matter what we do to our hair, whether we take care of it or not, whether we use all the products in the world or not, our hair always grows irrespective of what we do. The problem is with length retention. So after growing our hair, protective styles help to maintain that length. It helps to maintain that health, and it also protects your hair from the daily damage, the daily wear and tear. When your hair is down like that without being in a protective style, there is risk of over manipulation. There is risk of you combing your hair every day, detangling your hair every day, styling your hair every day. There's also the risk of your hair being exposed to the environment, to the weather, to the sun and all that. But when your hair is in a protective style, all these things can be prevented. So like I said earlier, in protective styles, your ends are tucked away, so there is less risk of breakage, there is less risk of split ends, because the ends of your hair will not be exposed for you to over manipulate. The ends of your hair will not be exposed to the harsh weather and to the daily friction. So protective styles, like we can see, has a ton of benefits. Now, without further ado, we are just going to get started with the different protective styles that you can use for hair growth. And the first one I'm going to be talking about is box braids. You guys know that this is one of my favorites. When I started my hair journey, box braids were the only styles I was installing before I started incorporating sew-ins and later on wigs and all that. But when I started my hair journey, box braids was the major style I used to grow my hair to a considerable length before I started incorporating other protective styles. Now, I love box braids for a ton of reasons. First of all, they are an excellent means of protective styles. Now, I am talking about box braids with extensions. First off, in box braids, your ends are protected, and this is because your ends are styled in the extensions. Plus, it's also an excellent method of protective style because you are not going to be detangling your hair every day or combing your hair. There is no need for all that. So your ends are protected, your hair is protected. There is an even better way of protecting your hair in box braids, and that is by putting the box braids in buns. And this is what I do most of the time when I install box braids, and that is why I don't like installing heavy braids, because apart from the fact that heavy braids itself can lead to hair breakage from traction alopecia due to the excess weight of the extensions on your hair, on your follicles and all that. Another reason I don't like heavy braids is that it is difficult putting it in a bun. So if the braids are heavy, the bun is even going to be heavier. There's going to be more traction and possibly more breakage. So that is why I make sure that when I'm installing box braids, they are like medium to lightweight. That way I can easily put them in a bun and prevent breakage. Now moving on, the next protective style I'm going to be talking about is twist with extensions. Twists are another excellent method of protective styles. There are a lot of benefits when it comes to installing twists. So the first one is that, yeah, it's a method of protective style. Your ends are going to be protected, your hair is going to be protected, your ends are tucked away. But another reason why I love twist is that unlike braids, it stretches your hair. So for someone like me that has high density hair and a very kinky texture, even after relaxing my hair, yes, I still have a lot of texture in my hair even if I'm relaxed. And I discovered that one of the things that helped me to manage this, to manage my hair density, to manage my texture, is by straightening my hair. So we don't always have to use heat when we want to straighten our hair. So there are different protective styles that you can use to straighten your hair. So twist is one of those protective styles that you can use to straighten your hair without heat. I'm going to be talking about more protective styles that you can use to straighten your hair later on in the video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. So that's another benefit of twist. Apart from the fact that it's a method of protective styling, it also helps in straightening your hair without the need for heat. Another reason why I love twist is that it locks in moisture, and this is one of the major reasons why I love twist, the moisture locking effect. And that is why after a moisturizing and sealing routine, if I feel my hair needs that moisture to be really locked in for me to get the result I want, I go in and use twist to lock in the moisture. And this may be to the straightening effect of the twist, because the straighter your hair is, the more easier it is for oils to travel down your hair shaft, and the more coily and kinky your hair is, the more difficult it will be for oils to travel down your hair shaft. So it is possible that the moisture locking effect from the twist is as a result of the straightening effect. So guys, you can see that apart from being an excellent method of protective styling, twist has other benefits like locking in the moisture and straightening your hair. Now moving on, the next protective style I'm going to be talking about is sew-ins. And if you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I love sew-ins a lot, like a lot. It's just unfortunate that I have stopped installing sew-ins for a while now. I think for about 2 to 3 years, and that is because I have not been going to hairstylist salons. I stopped going to hairstylist salons because I noticed that I was getting a lot of breakage back then when I used to go to the salons, and after I stopped going to salons, my length retention has been on the rise. So I have not gone back to a salon ever since, and unfortunately I can't install sew-ins myself. I am going to learn in the future because I definitely have to install that protective style again. So I'm going to have to learn at some point in the future, after which I'll start installing sew-ins again, hopefully. So one of the reasons I love sew-in, and I think this is even the major reason I love sew-in, is that your hair is completely tucked away. Like, you have no access to your hair is completely away, your ends are completely away. There is no form of communication at all between your hair and the environment, between your hair and the weather, unlike the two previous protective styles I have talked about, which is the box braids and sew-ins. Let's admit that even with box braids and sew-ins, there is still some form of communication, because your hair cannot be completely covered by the extensions. There's still going to be some exposure and some little form of communication between your hair and the environment. And another thing is that if you let your protective style down, like in box braids and twists, there may still be some form of friction between your hair and the body. That's the hair that is exposed. There will still be some form of communication between that and your body, except when you put it in a bun, which I do most of the time. Like I said, when you put it in a bun, your ends are completely up. But but sew-ins on the other hand is a game changer. Like, your ends are completely tucked away. You don't even have to do anything. You don't have to put your hair in a bun. All you just have to do is refresh your sew-in every morning, probably by detangling, by brushing, or whatever you do to refresh your sew-in, and you are good. Like, you don't have to manipulate your hair at all. Your hair is completely protected. Now, installing sew-ins with leave out is another thing, because the leave out part is still going to be exposed to the environment. The leave out is still at risk of breakage, but when you install sew-ins without leave out, your hair is completely tucked away. And this is what I did when I was installing sew-ins. I don't think there was ever a time I left any section of my hair out when installing sew-ins. So when it comes to tucking your hair away, sew-ins are superior to box braids and twists, but every protective style has its pro and its cons. So for sew-ins, you have to refresh the protective style every morning. So you have to brush the sew-in or comb the sew-in, unlike box braids and twists where all you just have to do is style the braids or the twists. Now, that continuous brushing, continuous pulling, tugging while brushing, while combing your sew-ins can lead to breakage if not done properly. So that is why we have to be gentle when detangling our sew-ins or when combing our sew-ins, because the constant pulling, the tugging, the brushing, the combing can lead to breakage if not done properly, by putting a lot of tension on your hair, on your scalp, and on your hair follicles. So we always have to be gentle when detangling our sew-ins. Now, moving on, the next protective style I'm going to be talking about is weave. Now, this is a protective style I have been using a lot recently. So before, when I started my hair journey, I was more of like a box braids, twist, and sew-ins babe. But now I have been incorporating wigs more frequently into my hair routines, into my protective styling routines, and I have even done protective style challenges before with wigs. Now, wigs are another excellent method of protective styling, because like in sew-ins, your ends are completely tucked away. There's not going to be any form of communication between your hair and your body or the environment or the weather, because your hair will be protected and will be completely tucked away, will be completely styled under the wig. And I think this is one of the reasons I love wigs, because it is similar to sew-ins for me. This is the closest protective style to a sew-in for me, and since I can't install sew-ins at the moment, I guess wigs are my next best option when it comes to this sew-in protective styling effect. But one reason I love wigs compared to sew-ins is that, unlike in sew-ins where the detangling, the brushing can cause tugging on your hair and lead to breakage, it's not like that with wigs. With wigs, you can do all your detangling, all your brushing, all the tugging outside. Like, even if the wig is severely tangled, there's not going to be any effect on your hair, because you can detangle it before putting it on your hair. So this is one of the pros for me when it comes to wigs over sew-in. But for me, when it comes to wigs, one con about it is when you have to wear and remove it every single day, or depending on how frequently you wear your wigs. Now, this can be a pro for some people depending on your goal, because some of us like that fresh feeling, especially when you are in a hot country like Nigeria. Some of us like that fresh feeling, that cooling feeling, where we can come back after a long day and just take off that wig. Yeah, it can be refreshing, but the truth is, even that little habit of putting it on and taking it off every day can be a form of manipulation, because it's like you are continually rubbing something over your hair every day during the morning and at night, because whether we like it or not, wigs are made of synthetic material. Even though some may try to mimic natural material, I don't think there is anything that can be as natural as your hair. So there is still some form of friction between the wig caps, the wig, and your hair. So even though all protective styles are protective, some are better than others. So there are some that are the best when it comes to protecting. They have so many pros, minimal cons, and there are some that may be at the bottom that even though they are still good method of protective styles, they are not the best. So I'm probably going to do a video rating different protective styles from the best protective style to the least protective style, so make sure to stay tuned for that video. So I'm not saying wigs are at the bottom when it comes to protective styles. I'm just saying every protective style has its pro and its con, and I don't think a protective style is 100% protective, if that makes sense. We can try to bring it to 100% as close as possible. For example, the box braids and the twists, we can put them in a bun to make them more protective. The sew-ins, we can, when detangling, we can make sure we are very gentle. And for the wigs, we can try and get better quality wig caps or wigs that cause less friction on our hair. So even though a protective style may not be 100% protective, we can try and bring it to 100% as close as we can. Now moving on, another benefit of wigs is that you can rock different styles. It's the flexibility that comes with the style for me. Like, ever since I started using wigs, I have been loving it. You know, when you install sew-ins, you are stuck with that sew-in for weeks, months, or whatever duration you decide to carry it for. The same thing for box braids and twists. But when it comes to wigs, you can rock one wig today and rock a different one tomorrow. You can rock a wig in the morning and decide to rock a different one in the evening to match your mood. So for wigs, there is less boredom compared to sew-ins, where you may have to be stuck with the same protective style for months, and along the way you may get tired, you may get bored, and even before you get to your target or your goal, you take it out. The same for box braids and twists. But when it comes to wigs, there is less risk of boredom due to the fact that you can rock different wigs on different occasions and change wigs depending on your mood. So guys, so far we have talked about 4 protective styles, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 16 protective styles you can use for hair growth. But this video is getting too long already, so I'm going to make another part of this video because I noticed you guys don't like videos that are too long. So this video is going to end here and it's going to continue in another part. So I guess this is like a series, and other parts of this series are going to be coming out, so make sure to stay tuned for that and turn on your post notification bell so that you won't miss out when the other parts come out. So far I've talked about box braids, I've talked about twists, I've talked about sew-ins and wigs, and if I am to pick a favorite among these 4 protective styles, I don't know, it's sort of like a hard choice because these 4 are among my top protective styles for hair growth. Like I said, when I started my hair journey, I was using box braids, I used twists and sew-ins almost all the time, and now that I have been using wigs, I am in love with them. But if I am to pick one when it comes to protective styling and when it comes to retaining length, I would say sew-ins. Yeah, I think for me sew-ins is the best. I love box braids, I love twists, I love wigs, but I think sew-ins is the best for me, at least for now, because I just have to tuck my hair away and forget about it. My hair is protected. I don't have to comb my hair every day, manipulate my hair every day, and all I just have to be careful about is detangling my sew-ins very gently when I want to. So I would say for me the favorite is sew-ins. Please comment down below what is your favorite among these 4 protective styles I have mentioned. So yeah guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you watched it this far and you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new here and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So yeah guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.